This summer, I am working with the PACE graduate assistant, Casey Kassar, on a research project really focused on analyzing a series of surveys that PACE has collected over a number of years. PACE is the Institute for Public Affairs and Civic Engagement, and our mission is doing what we can to promote informed and engaged democratic citizenship among our students, faculty, staff, and the broader community. So over a period of really 13 years now, the first survey went out in 2007, we've been polling the SU student body kind of at irregular intervals about their kind of ideas about political participation and the ways that they may or may not be engaged politically. And so we've had a lot of data, but we've never had an opportunity really to kind of sit down and compare the data across the different years. So for Casey to have some time to kind of sit with it and finally input all of these paper surveys, all of these Qualtrics surveys into the same database. So now we can finally make comparisons across these different years.
It definitely was a lot getting over 100 of these surveys and entering each little X into each one, doing that over and over again, but it got done. And especially with COVID, we were able to be home and doing this is a at-home task I could have been doing on my own time. So it definitely worked out in that sense. We got the time to be able to do this, but now looking at all this survey data, it is a lot. And especially since not everything lines up perfectly with the questions that were asked each year, we kind of have to work with that and making sure we are comparing the right questions, because they can always be interpreted differently, of course. Some things that I found were, we asked about being registered to vote and actually voting. A lot of people are registered and they're not going out and actually voting, especially in 2008, which was an election year, which is quite surprising. So the question is, why didn't they want to go vote that year? And then we're kind of just looking at a lot of data of different engagements they could be doing, such as working with politicians, just talking about politics. So we're getting good data on whether or not people are doing that. And overall, not a lot of people are doing anything engaged. A lot of things that we can take from this to definitely improve our own civic engagement here on campus.
PACE does what we can to provide an ongoing series of events, open public lectures, engaging courses, direct engagement opportunities, so volunteer opportunities. And one of the most immediate things that we're seeing from these surveys, it's really not a surprise, but it's always nice to see stuff play out in data. But one of the things that we're seeing from these surveys is that students just aren't as engaged politically as we might want them to be. They seem to volunteer a lot. They seem to do direct action things, which is great. And we want to do what we can to encourage that or incentivize that. But we're really going to be looking for new ways to encourage people to register to vote, but then outside of election years, to have contact with their elected representatives at local, state, and national levels.
So definitely we have lots of room for all these great ideas and events. And now that we have this, everything's online, that we definitely can be putting more information out there for people to read and educate themselves on.